expected. Ever since 3-3 was popular, Jaws, May has been popularized by CIS Hope / Windstrike that Chow was actually a member of, because they keep putting Kenzie on that May. This is such a good area for being able to block people off with May walls, try and get those isolations. Both our teams will be going for the same composition here. We've got Moiras on both sides as well for a lot of healing.
Yeah, double rollout to the top side as well. No funny business just yet. Nice little wall there coming through from Fisher. Trying to block a couple of people off. Lee's going to get frozen in the sidelines, but he should be okay for the time being. So it's going to be about Davin. How much damage and how much pressure can he exert onto Henningsen here in order to force him to use the shield? Another nice little wall coming through from Leaf, and now HSL in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't look like they're backing off, using this time to rotate to more towards the point. But Henningsen unfortunately ends up going down first to Zappis, and now it is the danger zone for HSL. They need to come up with a couple of kills quick. Coalescence is going to get booped over the side, but it might not even matter. Another wall will come up, blocking that Coalescence coming out. The point's going to unlock, and Team Gigantti are going to go for the rotation after let out the Coalescence of their own.
Yeah, Monkeyman's able to just go down, sit on that point, make sure they get that flip. So they're in a defensive position. You love that as a mage, Jaws. It means that you can control the engagements of the enemy team. If someone's obviously engaging into you, they've got to get to a point. That means you have the ability to put up the wall, isolate people as they come in, but they have actually given up the space. Henningsen's made it onto a point, but he may well be the victim of a blizzard.
Uh-oh, Leaf has got that blizzard. He's on the high ground, does jump down low, freezes the Diva, no Matrix, instant blizzard comes out, but Zapre quickly ends his life. There will be two people frozen up behind the shield. Henningsen and Chow going so low, but they're not out of the woods just yet. And there's going to be a self-destruct on it as well. How did Henningsen and Chow stay alive? Their health bar is going under at least 50 HP each. But Zapre comes up big with the ult to make sure everybody from Gigantti had to scatter. And they managed to reclaim control of the point. 33% game from Gigantti, though. Not too bad of a start.
Well, George, you're asking how Henningsen and Chow saved alive. It's a redemption story. Askov coming in with a sand barrier, giving them the overshield they needed to survive the onslaught from Davin. And now Gigantti, they've been bisected.
That's
this
not
is dangerous.
Where you want to be. That supercharger is going to come out as well as that Coalescence. Doing a whole lot of damage, but that wall is quickly to fall. And now HSL on the back foot. Gigantti going to move out with their own Coalescence and Supercharger. No way you're going to kill that if you're HSL, so you have to back off. Davin goes in with a big Blossom, finds 2 kills, and a very quick clean-up kill onto Chow as well, as they find the recap.
A Halt and Death Blossom there, dragging everyone in, making sure Davin was spinning to win in the middle of all of them. But that was expensive, Jaws. It was expensive for Gigantti. Look at that ultimate bank. The closest one is Leaf, and he's only halfway to that Blizzard. A quick headshot will bring it up a little bit further, though. HSL are also looking at a pretty vanilla fight. It's going to be Blizzard potentially versus Blizzard. They make sure their entrance is safe by using that May wall, and now they can try and engage onto Gigantti without being bisected. But they've got to watch out for Leaf. He's getting so close to that Blizzard. If he gets it, it needs to be eaten by Chow.
Fisher's got his Blizzard online now, so it will be Blizzard on Blizzard. Both Mays going into block, gonna freeze that Diva, or she might just eat it. Both DMs have been used as well, and that signals the time for the Blizzard to come out. At least one kill is going to go over to HSL in Milky Man. Zapre's going to press W and kill a couple more. Coalescence coming through from HSL as well. It's about 30%-ish flip around once again as Team Gigantti do end up falling after Zapre ends up going down at the end there. A little bit extra time being bought by him, but 78% is already one fight territory now for Gigantti if they manage to find the flip again.
Yeah, Gigantti didn't invest in that last fight, Jaws, so they can keep banking up those ultimates. Fisher, though, quicker on the draw with a Blizzard. That means that there was an onus for Leaf to try and counter Blizzard. That's a great block off, but not actually getting anyone on their own. Just going to delay the engagement. They've got to try and eat the next Blizzard.
There's the Coalescence. You've got to eat it. Leaf's going to send it out. Doesn't get eaten just yet, but Zapre, quick shift out of the way. And now Death Blossom being used on Zapre on the other side of the wall. No one from HSL could help Fisher. He's on the other side. No beat could come through, but a late beat coming through from Team Gigantti to make sure they can win this fight. HSL just need to stay alive here, control the pace with the May as they do scatter back to the point. They're taking so much damage in a perfect boop onto Henningsen so he can go down the stairs.
They're controlling all of his movement. Jaws' 4 legs ain't going to save you from a boop. Stavin trying to drop in from above. Almost has the Blossom.
But almost. All this time, HSL have controlled the point. They're up to 80% already as Team Gigantti unleashing of the Coalescence. HSL just need to stall. Fisher's got his ultimate online now as well. What an amazing sustainability coming through from HSL. Fisher eventually goes down. They know they potentially have one more fight left, so didn't want to use the Blizzard just yet. From death from above, though, from Daffin, ends up taking out 2. HSL can still come back and recontest, but they do manage to get OT.
That Death Blossom is perfect, Jaws. Look at Gigantti's ult bank. They don't have anything left right now. Milky Man's almost got himself a supercharge, but it's going to take a while to get that. Meanwhile, HSL, they got the Coalescence, they've got the Blizzard, they've got the Death Blossom. They have everything they need to win this fight. Zappis has to be clutch. If Gigantti are going to win this. He needs to be able to use this defense matrix, but you know Fisher's going to be trying to go for the primary fire freeze on him to follow up with the Blizzard as we see HSL take the high ground and begin their engagement.
They do jump on the point. OT now triggered. Either team loses this point, they're going to lose this map. Blizzard's going to get sent into the back line. Zapre clicks Q, manages to take out Milky Man's supercharger, but the damage has been done to Chow's mech. Him being demech now, that's a lot less defensive power that HSL have, and Zapre going down as well is disastrous. Team Gigantti now controlling the pace of the fight with their own beat. The Coalescence will finish off the rest. OT ticks down. Team Gigantti, they should just be able to secure mecha base here. Chow ends up falling at the last possible second. They secure it and go one map up on Busan.
Gigantti, that was their fight. To lose, HSL had to throw that away, and you know exactly how they did that, Jaws. They put down the Blizzard, and sure, they managed to freeze up the D.Va, but everyone else, they were speed boosting away from that Blizzard, so if you're using Death Blossom within it, everyone's already left. No one's there for you to do damage to. Unfortunately, Zapre there, just not positioning the Death Blossom well enough. He needed to use that after the Blizzard, at least when he knew people were frozen, or when people had used their abilities to try and get away from the danger so we could present another threat.
Okay, we're moving on to Sanctuary now. Double sniper is what I want to see from HSL. We spoke before about how Zapre has just been on fire with the Widowmaker. The entirety of Contenders season, to be fair. HSL have definitely been practicing, the double sniper, and Zapre especially, just still a superstar on this Widowmaker. We'll go up against Davin, who way back in 2018 wasn't the most formidable Widow, but he grinded that hero so much and eventually was picking the heads off the best. People like asking, of course, that was always kind of dominating Davin in that role. Now the tables have turned.
Yeah, we're going to see actually differences in the supports here. Lilbo's bringing out the Baptiste, who've been incredibly impressive us over the course of the season. Zapre taken out by a Holt into Wright click? Or Zappis, rather.
Yeah, Zapre is going to be able to set up a nice little line of fire here as well. Davin's going to have to deal with him at this point. Look at the cover they're going to have to kind of surround themselves with. Davin does take out Ding, though, and a quick kill onto Askov too. What more can you ask for from your Widowmaker? A double pick onto the supports. And now HSL, they're going to bleed. Now, the problem is they can control the point and contest. And in fact, Fisher wants to use an ult here, think they can win, but that immortality field is so good. From Lilbo, he's going to jump onto the point, save the rest of his team, but it doesn't stop Henningson. And Zapre picking up a couple of kills.
No healer, no problem right now. Still no one has capped the point. HSL are growing towards it as Zappis goes down.
Yeah, Zapre jumps straight on and takes out Lilbo. How did they manage to flip this one around? They lost Askov and Ding so early on in the fight, but they still managed to find the cap.
Yeah, right now, Davin looking very good. Has that Infrasight ready to go. Zapre's already used his. That means that there's going to be a huge advantage here for Davin and Leaf. Remember, everyone gets the sight that is afforded by that ultimate, which means Leaf is going to have a very good time. Same can be said of Zappis, who can make hooks without the assistance of the Holt if he knows exactly where everyone is. Just needs VM, and you know, by God, that Zappis has got it. Right now, Davin taking an aggressive angle. Down goes for Supercharger.
Nice pick. Zapre ends up going down as Leaf finds his head. And now, Gigantti moving in with that immortality field. Almost impossible to take it out as well as it's behind the drum. But Zapre still manages to get rezzed. Both Dragons are going to get traded as well as that Transcendence didn't quite help anybody else, but it still managed to keep the rest of Team Gigantti alive. They do lose their main tank in the process, though, but still kills are being traded here. It's all in favor again of HSL. This is such a stalled out fight. Plus, it's so messy. Like, what? You need to reset at this point. It's 50% on the board already. HSL, they managed to eventually get cleaned up, but Gigantti, they built up so many ults in this fight, but the issue is, especially on control, Harry, we do land ourselves in a situation where the team that does cap first normally ends up winning just because they can roll ultimates so well. Gigantti currently only have 2 in the bank, maybe 3 if Milky Man can get us online as well.
When you talk about rolling ultimates, Jaws, Lobo, the amplification matrix is going to be so impactful for trying to make that happen. Zupe and Leaf can do double damage shooting through that. That means double ultimate charge. Zapre, he's feeling cheeky. He's got the infrasight. He's looking at Lobo and he gets him.
Perfect kill. Lilbo's not going to have his ult for this next fight. Milky Man laying down his. He's going fairly low as well. Only has the healing from the Zenyatta. 30 HPS isn't going to do too much when Fisher's on the hands, though. A double kill with a Storm Arrow ends the fight as quick as that. And HSL managed to flip.
And Fisher having the Dragon Strike here is so important, Jaws. We talked about Amplification Matrix before. You can stop people from standing behind that and stop them standing behind Milky Man's shield if you use your Dragon Strike through that area. Chow as well can take people away. He can make sure that everyone's scattering. The self-destruct will do that. There's a lot of damage that comes through, and you can see that he's ready, waiting for Milky Man to put down his first shield so that he knows that cooldown won't be available for when he throws that mech up in the air.
80% now on the board. Fisher is going to use his dragons through, but the problem is there is still that immortality field saving, but not quite so lucky as Zappe, who kind of got flanked there by Fisher. He does get taken care of, but that's a main healer now down for Team Gigantti. They've got the backup a little boat and his ultimate as well. Leaf actually gets pushed away here, and Chow gets the kill with the Bunny Blaster. 95% now on the board for HSL. Fisher's going to come back on the Doomfist, but Davin is taking the game into his own hands as Zappre ends up going down to a headshot. Ding may have got resurrected here, but it is Davin clicking the heads, and Gigantti will control the point. Well, at least maybe if they can force Ding away.
Fisher tried to come back on the Doomfist, but Zapp's caught him in the act. Lilbo's going to get Ding as well. I think that was a bit of an early use of a Dragon Strike there, Jaws. But Immortality Field was already down from Lilbo. He wasn't going to be able to get any kills off of that. Sure, he forced some positioning and got a support during it, but I feel like it would have been much better to mitigate the return of that amplification matrix, which Lilbo's used is already halfway to the next one. HSL still in a pretty commanding position to get themselves a map here on Busan. They can use the supercharge to do so, but they may just want to make an economy push right now. Try and get some things out of Gigantti, then take that 90-99 battle with a couple more tools in their box.
Yeah, it would make the most sense. Milky Man's so close to his own ultimate. But first up, Henning Sung is going to lay down that supercharger, try and get the Holt hook. Nothing found, beautiful. In fact. I tell a lie, as Fisher manages to find the head of Leaf with an arrow. Can the resurrection come through? There's going to be another kill from Fisher. He dodges away. A 2-for-0 currently in favour of HSL. And now they can move forward, and Gigantti end up losing their main tank, so now no shield to hide behind. Littlebo ends up falling as well, as Fisher, with 3 kills, almost 4 in this fight, manages to take over on the Hanzo. A flip's going to come through as HSL and now bundling onto the point.
We talk a lot of Widows, but Fisher's looking great on the Hanzo. They're going to have to come in here, but it's going to be very difficult.
And because there's no res there on the side of Team Gigantti as well, you can't really go for a reset as 6. You're forced to then fight it 5v6. Askoff jumping onto the Mercy, hits the ult. There's no way Gigantti can get back in time, and they tie up Busan for now.
Well, we've seen double sniper versus double sniper, Jaws, and the next snap is going to be also great for that. We're going downtown. You can brawl out here with the Mei and the Reaper if you so desire. Perhaps Gigantti, having had a little bit more success on Mecha Base, will decide to roll back to that composition, but we've seen Leaf here on Hanzo get a lot of value, but with how Fisher and Zabre are playing right now, I say keep Fisher on this Hanzo. You can run a Hanzo Mei potentially with Zapre and Fisher as well.
Oh, he's so good on the Hanzo. That's a cool little trick you can do as well. If you fully draw the arrow, let it go, and then instantly hit the Storm Arrow, it fully draws it once again, almost instantly, rather than that small wind-up time that you have. A perfect little double tap on the support, and it's all over. And like I said, that's the problem with having no Mercy there, Harry. Gigantti weren't running it at all. They had Littlebo, who's probably one of the best Baptistes in EU. But the problem is that Resurrection could be such a powerful tool when you can when you have time to reset the fights.
Mei Reaper versus Mei Reaper. The wall from Fisher will go underneath the Orisa, try and put them up onto some higher ground, but will not isolate anybody. Still posturing here. That's a great wall into Holt as well. Puts Henningsen up high.
Yeah, he's going pretty low. He had to back off. Ding's building this coalescence fairly quickly, though, but of course, Zappe is doing the same thing. He gets so much healing output with the Moira. Just the orb into the left click just does so much work. Zappe's his mech does end up going down, but Gigantti's still willing to actually just move on to the point. First coalescence will come through, and it's going to be on the side of Ding. Helps Zappe end up securing the kill onto Davin, as Zappe uses his own coalescence as well. But 2 of their main damage dealers now down. In Leaf falling, means you have almost 0 control of the fight when you're against a Mei. That does mean HSL are going to clear everybody off. And look at the ults they got coming online for the next fight as well.
I know some analysts are going to be looking back at that fight and looking particularly at Fisher's wall placement. Not only did it bisect Gigantti, but also provided a pathway for Zapre to walk alongside, having a very commanding presence with high ground from the Reaper, managing to get around the Orisa shields, deal with the damage that gives him that bonus in ultimate charge. Milky Man's got the supercharge ready to go. He's been doing very well, and he's already put it down.
Yeah, that wall, I'm not sure about that one. Unfortunately, Leaf. Nice frozen mech there by Fisher. Does mean he can get a free visit off basically. Zappis is a non-factor in this fight, and neither is David now as he ends up going down. Leaf used his Blizzard also, but the better Blizzard is commanded by HSL right now as they do clear up Gigantti once again, and they still control this point. We're looking up to 40, maybe 50% now before Gigantti can actually get back into this engagement, and Zapre can wait. in the shadows with his ult.
He can be lurking. He's got the Death Blossom ready to go. He can go up higher, but it may be a little bit too telegraphed. You've got to make sure when you're a Reaper that your ult isn't too easy to read. Team Gigantti, though, low on ults. Almost have the Coalescence, almost have the Death Blossom. But again, they're moving through here. They've isolated Henningsen. This could be great.
Nice little attempt at a wall there. Zapray is going to pop that Q button. Hulk came through, but Zap has managed to eat most of it up. He takes a lot of damage in the process, and a nice boop there coming through from Ascor, pushing everybody past the shield. Ends Milky Man's and Davin's life as HSL once again 3 back-to-back fight wins, and now they are up to 70, going on 80%. Gigantti, they realistically, Harry, have one more shot at this.
Zapray's halfway back to that Death Blossom as well. It was so smart. He made sure that everyone was using their defensive cooldowns to deal with the Death Blossom, and after that, you're going with the Hulk. There's no Ice Block, there's no Wraith Form. You can pick off these very, very dangerous DPS who can try and sustain themselves. Zapray's already managing to get off
you're
Milky
in
Man.
trouble now, Milky Man. And luckily, the defense matrix is going to be there, but not there for long. Ability has such a finite cooldown. Already, you can see it, the Met going down. No defensive use of the D.Va now, although the remake does end up coming through. Henningsen falls first in this engagement. Finally, Team Gigantti trying to grasp back at this fight. The issue is, though, now Leaf falling and Zapray taking over the game. He's got another Death Blossom, and now he can just wait out another Matrix. A beat had to come through from Team Gigantti to see them through this one. Ascor does end up going down. HSL now on their last limbs, but it is 99% to 0, and Team Gigantti have control of the point, well, kind of, for the moment.
Yeah, Henningsen's going to be trying to get some knockoffs here. They've actually got onto Milky Man. That's huge.
Zapray gets the kill, and now Henningsen just pushing people out of the way. OT's ticking down. You've got to touch the point. HSL still controlling. Somehow manages to get Zapray as well. Leafs Blizzard clears the rest off the point, but they're on their last limbs. Henningsen on the ball comes up big as he finds 3 kills, and HSL secure the first map in the series.
And it was so messy to try and get that final fight working, Jaws. I thought that maybe it was a mistake to come back on the Wrecking Ball, because like, you've got 99%, they're on 0, you can just build up another ultimate as Eraser is so good. And I was like, you gave up all your supercharge charge to go over onto Wrecking Ball, but he gets so much value, gets those knockoffs, and that's so important when you're on these control points in overtime, because you don't necessarily need to get the kills, you just need to make sure they're not on the point, and those knockoffs are so powerful.
And the longer the OT lasts, the quicker that bar is going to disappear. And that almost very, very briefly gave me a heart attack. I thought he'd actually just knocked everybody off, and OT was just like a smidgen, a couple of pixels from actually setting out. But the problem was he'd already kind of killed one, and then the snowball happens from there. If you lose your Mei, your Reaper that early on, you lose so much damage. You also lose so much control with the Mei also. And it stops Henningsen from really doing anything if the Mei's alive, because he can just freeze him, they can wall him, and it's so easy to then take him down. Problem was, Henningsen, nice little trip kill at the end, killing Leaf fairly early on too, and they managed to secure the map.
Loads of star plays during this map as well. I love how Zapray is really tracking the Wraithform of his counter Reaper to make sure that he can always get some high-value Death Blossoms. Not the greatest combination in the first map. That was well-timed by Gigantti to be able to mitigate both ultimates by investing basically just a speed boost from Lilbo. But still, I'd love to see the advancement of this sort of iteration on these plays with the Mei Reaper. But are we going to see that on non-control maps?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We've got Assault coming up next. It's going to be Gigantti's choice as HSL took that first map. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 2 on your screens very soon. It's going to be Assault as our next game mode. And first of all, remember, HSL are now one map up against Team Gigantti. I didn't think it would happen, but Henningsen at the very end on the wrecking ball managed to score 3 kills and secure the map for his team.
And Henningsen, he's kind of a rookie in this huge field of players. Of the 12 players we've got here, I'm pretty sure Henningsen would be the newest to competition, followed by Askoft. And in this high-pressure environment of finals, I don't think he's ever been here before. I don't think he's even made it to a semis before. He's looking absolutely fantastic. And Henningsen really has been a breakout story this year because he's also going to be the main tank for Team Denmark, who have been lacking in a main tank for a long time. And Team Denmark, they're looking really fearsome this year. And there's a lot of Danish players on HSL as well. Zapre and Fischer also from Denmark.
Yeah, looking pretty scary.
Oh, and Ding too.
Yeah, Ding too. Yeah, don't forget Ding. Come on, man. He came back this season, of course, after taking a small break, but I'm glad to see him back in the action. I'd be pretty scared right now, Harry, if I were Gigantti, because
why?
We are going to Voskaya Industries. They did pick the map as well, but, you know, maybe they just want to conquer some fears. They did end up losing the map versus HSL in the regular season, one of the only maps they did end up losing. And this is a bit of a question. We spoke before, like, there's no way they go to Voskaya if they do end up picking the map.
That'd be omega dumb.
Well, in technical terms.
In Twitch words, that'd be giga dumb.
Sure.
Because it allows you to go up against snipers. And we saw multiple times on Sanctuary, HSL, they are a class above when it comes to these snipers. Right now, the Hovering Leaf on that Farah, but of course they are in the attacker spawn, so there's a lot of time to try and mess around with that. I'd love to see a Mei Widow combo from Fischer and Zapre. They usually see more like Mei Hanzo, because the Hanzo is a little bit more viable when it comes to having shield rate, because the Storm Arrow is so powerful. You get a lot of DPS out into the shield, using his primary fire as well. Widowmaker, you don't really want to be shooting into the shields as much, because Widowmaker is more of a long-range sniper, as Hanzo more of a mid-range bruiser, actually. And if you're shooting the shield multiple times as Widowmaker, you're actually revealing your location a lot, and that means people can sightline you very much more effectively.
Yeah, especially when you have a mate on your side as well. You're like, okay, Widow's there. You either wall off the entirety, like straight in front of her face, or you can just kind of wall off the initial sightline, especially on Voskaya Choke, where that truck is. We know you're going to be up top right. I mean, come on. You're going to be up top right. There's no real problem for us to wall off and then speed on through if you've got a Lucio, and then just hopefully land on the mega health pack and use that as kind of a base. We have taken a quick pause, guys. Do not worry. We'll be back into the game very shortly. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. Do not go anywhere. There we are back.
We were
On to
very
Boss Guy.
crafting a little bit.
Yeah, we were crafting a little bit just in the break, and why Gigantti ended up picking this map. But maybe if they knew it was one of their weak spots, they've been grinding out over the last couple of weeks in order to make it a lot better, and maybe now they decide, actually, it's probably one of our best sold maps.
Yeah, and Gigantti, obviously, they would plan to be winning control, so they likely expected that HSL, this would be their pick against Gigantti, so they will have been grinding it out a lot to try and patch up that hole in their repertoire, and with a lot of practice, maybe they thought their 2-2-2 here is very good. We've got to remember both their losses on Volskaya were outside of our 2-2-2 role lock, which does mean that maybe they're feeling a little bit better about it here. We are going to be seeing HSL on the defense with the Orisa Hog. A lot of pick potential here as they're going for the Widowmaker and the Mei. Like we said before, you'd expect usually to see a Hanzo of this composition, but Davin more than capable of going toe-to-toe with Zapray. But Zapray's got to watch a lot of angles here because Leaf's going to be on the second sniper with the Hanzo.
Ooh, that was very, very close. He's all right there, only took an Ana shot. It's not the worst thing in the world. Zapray did dodge out from the high ground there, but luckily he didn't get picked off. He knows exactly where he is. Immortality Field used fairly early, though, by Lilbo. As they try and force themselves through the choke, that's going to wear off in a couple of seconds. There it goes. And now you haven't got that cooldown to use.
Yeah, it means that Zapray is going to be in a very dangerous position. That's a wall right there. Is anyone going to get frozen up? you got to get Leaf, dudes.
Wait, Davin kills Zapray. Window's now activated. Okay. And now I guess Davin can kind of rotate or at least get away from that amplification matrix. You see Davin are high up in the skies. Does get walled off, though, by Fisher to make sure he can't do any more damage. But now his boot's on the ground. That anti-nade was so big. But Immortality Field's looking good. Another amplification matrix this time around. It's on the side of Team Gigantti. And Leaf firing through. Does manage to find Askoft. But Davin still ends up trading. Way better for the offensive, though, as Team Gigantti do move towards the point.
Ding found out, but from behind, Shao, the pig in the back.
Okay, Lil Po is going to get frozen up as well. No way they survive this one. Blizzard was way too great, way too much damage as well for them to really deal with. Zappas at least finds the kill onto Fisher, I suppose, so if they regroup fast enough, maybe they can get back before he gets to first.
Yeah, and HSL aren't running a mercy. Oh no, Chow.
That was a fat finger.
Oh, that is a yikes. I was about to say how good Chow's hog with the flank has been and how his pig was a big talking point for us coming into this series. Has it improved to a point that it needs to? Davin gets ding as well. Oh,
Such a big pick.
This is a mental boom.
Oh no, you see Henningsen looking at him when he's using that ult as well. He's like, please don't say you pick Q, bro. Superchargers have been used around the corner. Davin can now find a nice juicy flank. One main healer left for HSL. I think it's going to come back on the Lucio now, not a hero we usually know him for. Dragons through the little box there, but amplification matrix is now going to get used as well to make sure Gigantti are warded off for the time being. Doesn't like Milky Man's too scared though. Neither's Davin as he jumps straight in front, but you've got to be a little bit more careful than that. Henningsen will deal with both snipers, and now another amp matrix being used, but this time on the side of Team Gigantti. Haven't got any damage dealers to follow up, so they're relying on Milky Man here to get the picks.
Great on Mortality Field though. Milky Man could be in trouble if they decide to get aggressive. He's got himself another hog.
It didn't matter. He was going to get himself another one anyway. Milky Man does end up going down, and a Transcendence used also by Zappe there to try and keep him alive, but it was way too much damage for him to actually deal with. HSL are going to force Team Gigantti once again off the point.
HSL though, they're now running a Lucio and a Tracer. They tried to get back to a point quickly. The same for Chow coming back on that Diva. So their composition's basically been torn apart as Askoft goes back over onto this Baptiste. Got, of course, the amplification matrix. It was just used. That's going to take a while to come back. And looking at this comp, Gigantti are like, okay, we're just going to roll in with a May Reaper and a Moira. We're doing a lot of damage here. You won't be able to get assassinations versus a Moira with that Tracer because it's just too much healing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That Tracer's not going to be any good at actually finding any picks here. His Pulse Bomb isn't going to be too useful. Although if they do manage to catch the fight and get the tank, maybe get sent low enough to him to get picked off. Supercharge used up on the high ground. Zapri's going to go in. Pulse Bomb's going to get used as well. Does get the connection, actually, and Davin ends up going down. Okay, maybe we spoke a little bit too soon. 30 seconds now remain for Team Gigantti as HSL. They invest almost everything into this fight in order to make it work.
Yeah, they had to do everything, Jaws. Zapri there, he put down the Pulse Bomb, and Davin was like, hey, that's blinking. Let me check that out. What's that on you? Oh, that's actually a lot of damage. Do you not want that? But now, Gigantti, they can build up a lot of his ultimates using the Supercharger that Milky Man has available. They have a Coalescence as well that'll pierce through Henningsen's shield. It's a lot of pressure. pressure onto Ascoft, onto Ding, onto Zapray. They've already put down the supercharger. We need to reach a point, though. 4 seconds remain.
Okay, they're going to be able to contest, Harry, don't you worry. And now already you can see the mech falling. Nice focus fire onto Zappis. The self-destruct still manages to kill Ascoff's immortality field, and now Davin can walk on through. Nothing stopping him from doing the damage now. Fisher and Ascoff end up going down, and this could be the attack they were looking for. Team Gigantti in OT. We're going to be able to clean everybody else up. That bomb is going to get waylaid by the shield. It is up to Zapray to find the picks, but against this comp, you stand little to no hope on the Tracer. He's going to go reset himself. You know he can't win the fight as Team Gigantti secure first.
They only get 3 minutes per second, though, Jules. They have the opportunity to make up for lost time. It's going to be all about Leaf. He needs to hit a good Blizzard here. He needs to get Henningsen, needs to get Chow. You know what that means as a Mei. You're going to walk on forward. Primary fire, aim at the Diva, freeze her up, then put down the Blizzard on the floor. Zapray and Fisher. Zapray's gone back over to the Reaper. Going to do a lot of damage. They're holding aggressively. If you use a Blizzard, it's got to be in front of them now.
Very close hold. Iceblocker's going to get forced out here onto Fisher. He has to play a little bit more defensively now. Davin gets frozen up, instantly taken care of, and a beat is still going to come through. As well as that, Blizzard, can they win this fight without their Reaper? We'll have to find out as Fisher and Zapray end up going down. Leaf finding the kill here is going to be critical as they do move forward with the Coalescence. And even Milky Man, Harry, he's got a supercharger lined on up, and they've already secured a tick.
Picks up the name of the game now. Henningsen needs to get here. He does have the supercharger, but doesn't really have line of sight on anyone.
Desperation supercharger from Henningsen in the corner. Only damage boosted himself. And now they can just sit behind the shields of Milky Man, and Team Gigantti are controlling the point. A Coalescence will lay the damage for the time being and actually destroy the supercharger even. But Zapray is just in the front and they can't do anything. There's nothing you can do to stop Davin from doing the damage. The self-destruct high in the sky is going to clear everybody else out as 2 ticks and potentially a third here now secured.
Henningsen trying to survive, picks up the big health pack. Lilbo has to be the one who get on the point.
Ball's going to come down. Henningsen is dealt with, and another Coalescence as well to finish off the fight. 1 minute and 42 remains. No way Fisher was finding the pick in the back line, and another Doomfist coming through from Leaf. Instantly kills off Chow. Gigantti on an OT push on first point, still managed to cap second.
They make up the lost time. They use a Blizzard in the perfect area. It was a really good Blizzard into Halt scenario. They didn't need to use the Halt to try and get some early picks. They saw that after Davin died, they had to make a move. At that point, a lot of teams would reset, but Gigantti, they sort of already committed. Ascoft didn't really have the ability to deal with that. He was frozen up as well. We saw Lilbo commit the sound barrier after we saw Davin die. I think he was trying to save him, but it was just like a millisecond too late. So they're like, okay, we committed sound barrier. We need to make this our push. We've got to use our Blizzard. We've got to use our Halt, dragging everyone in. Great play from Gigantti.
Yeah, the Blizzard placement too, it kind of separated the entire team at HSL. We saw Henningsen in the corner, had to use the supercharger alone. There's not much he can do there. He's ended up walled off as well, so he's kind of stuck in a situation where like, okay, I can't help my team. I guess I try and supercharger and break shield and then hopefully kill someone and stall out enough time for my team to get back on the point. It didn't happen, and Gigantti still end up capping second. 1 minute and 37 seconds in the time bank. Fairly respectable on this new patch, of course. We've had some small assault changes, but now it's HSL's turn to attack. If they stick with this, Harry, it might just work out for them. Remember, Gigantti managed to change their composition up a couple of times, but when you do that, you do lose a lot of ult pressure.
Yeah, the same for HSL as well. Zapray had to come back on the Tracer. We saw Ding swap over to the Lucio. He's very much more known as a flex support, and Lucio is more of a main support kind of role. You usually see your main support playing that, going up onto the high ground here, using the wall, some nice tech from Leaf. But that snowball cap, it's got to mean a lot for your confidence as Team Gigantti, Jaws. Gigantti are this storied titan of EU Overwatch, and it looked like they could have been down 2-0 quite quickly right there if they were held on first. Zapray coming out on the Symmetra. I love what I see.
Going to teleport over. Chow didn't need no teleporter though. He's just going to use his thrusters to get over the side. Zapray, I can imagine he's going to go onto the Reaper. Yes, that he does. I mean, he can't, of course, join the rest of his team.
I think he might be able to TP it.
Oh,
no. He'll TP to the other side. Likely try and get everyone to look around by engaging from this high ground. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen. We're actually going through low ground.
Yeah, so they want to do this so Zapray can kind of get a free entrance here. It's like, okay, where are they all? Okay, they're around there. We have to then push forward and position our shield so, and then Zapray kind of gets some free space.
Speaking of free space, they got the high ground right now. Good Halt right there. They're going to try and get the isolation with a wall.
They're going to try. Fisher's just trying to freeze Zappis right now, remove one of those wing cons. Zapray instantly takes out Leaf. This is the pushover already. Zapray comes up big, walk past shield, one click of the head. Milky Man ends up going down. Nice little sleep on the Reaper, but it was already done. HSL already taking the first point on the first push.
What a beautiful strategy right there as well. Coming up using the wall. I thought they might try and speed boost across with Askov just jump onto them. But they came in with a little bit more subterfuge. Leaf tried to deny it by putting a wall in front of them, but they just circumvented it. They had the ability to go around. Lilbo, with the amplification matrix, has to try and rescue from a snowball here because Ding's got the coalescence. Fisher almost has the blizzard as well. We've seen how good it can be on snowballing here. If HSL can cap in 1 or 2 or even 3 fights, they're going to have a much greater time bank than Gigantti.
5+ minutes looking pretty good for HSL. They have got coalescence as well as that blizzard coming up online. Coalescence is going to get used. A lot of that getting denied actually from that wall. Supercharge is going to come down though from Henningsen to try and facilitate this attack. There's no way you can survive this. Lilbo up on the high ground. Use that amplification matrix to little of no effect. Davin at least takes out one in Fisher, but you still got the damage. And HSL roll through first, roll through second, and have 5 minutes now in the time back.
It's incredibly clean, Jaws, and they know exactly what they're doing. They know, okay, Lilbo, he's one of the best Baptistes in Europe, right? He's going to have that amplification matrix. So just go on up. Go on and dive, and while you use that amplification matrix, they come through another way so that they're not taking damage while making that dive. And because they know it's on the high ground, they remove the possibility of using it by denying that space away. HSL, well, Gigantti, we've theory crafted why they might choose Volskaya, but whatever theory was going, I think it's going to be filled with regret.
Yeah, it's not working out for them thus far, but they still have a minute and 37, Harry. Let's not count them out just yet. But versus 5 minutes and 5 seconds, yeah.
And considering they had overtime to take the first point last time.
Yeah, if you're in queue right now, you're like, damn, okay, we really, really need something special here. They're going to run out on the Reaper May. They just got to. They were changing so much on their initial attack, and like you said, managed to cap in OT. HSL going the same on the defense, though. I want to see Gigantti do the same thing. Have the sim, then teleport over, then just send your Reaper around. Yes, he can teleport over as well, but if you send him at a different angle, you wait for that shield to get set up by the defense, and then, hey, you can't reset that shield up. I'm just going to walk towards you and click your face.
Yeah, exactly that. It's a mono-directional shield. It's a little bit of an egg, but of course it can only be replaced once every 8 seconds. In a future patch, that will be 9 seconds. Thank you, Blizzard, for that particular nerf as a Reinhardt main. We'll have to see if HSL are going to get very aggressive here. Both teams going to forgo those snipers, but Davin is on the Hanzo. He can use a Sonic Arrow here to get a quick scout, but I imagine he may stick on this to try and get a lot of shield pressure, to try and get a lot of potential for pickoffs.
Chow is in the waiting,
sneaky boy.
In the waiting room there. Looks like a waiting room at least. Double wall will stop the fight from happening just yet. Although I say that as a instant immortality field there being used by Littleboy. They don't really want to take this fight. Zafray and Fisher end up going down. On the defense, not too great when you kind of push all the way up and you're like, well, we ran into immortality field and now we're all dead. Team Gigantti, this time around, Harry, they're not gonna cap it in OT. They're gonna have a little bit of time left to attack second.
Okay, HSL have gifted Gigantti a chance to win this map as well. They can try and get a snowball here. You know, Lilbo's almost got amplification matrix again. I think HSL made that play. They thought, Jaws, that maybe Gigantti are going to roll out with a double sniper again. Maybe they're going to have Leaf and Davin on those snipers. They're going to be sitting right there, wouldn't be able to brawl out. But Leaf was like, you guys are running into my May wall? I'm just going to trap you out here. Forces Fisher to use that ice block early to avoid being frozen. Then it's easy cleanup from there. HSL want to set up on the high ground. They want to make sure Team Gigantti have to invest something to remove them, whether it's a Holt or potentially Zappis trying to commit, use that Diva booster to get the knockoffs that are required.
So much value in Baptiste's kit. He's got Immortality Field as well. Amplification Matrix can be used at any moment to supplement the damage from Davin. There you go, instantly being used. Now they can just focus fire down. Askov's the first casualty of war as HSL. Everybody's just fallen so low. Ding trying desperately to heal everybody up, but to try and send this out from Team Gigantti as they build up all their ultimates through that Amplification Matrix. Milky Man's going to lay down his as well. Davin's trying to go for the 1v1, eventually kills off Chow. The damage has already been done though, as HSL, they're on the last limbs.
Big blizzard right here. Leaf's actually gone down. That could be crucial.
Davin with 4 kills, though 5 in fact, as Ding ends up going down as well. And now make that 6. A whole team kill for the sniper. Davin helps Gigantti push the way onto second, but with only 4 seconds remaining, there's no way they're going to be able to get it before OT. It ticks over, OT is initiated, and now HSL Esports, if they do end up losing this here, it's not the worst thing in the world considering their 5-minute time bank.
Amplification Matrix is back up, Surface doing double damage. You know that's going to hurt, Jaws.
There's no way you can survive this one. Askov falls off the map and Henningsen disappears as well. A self-destruct on the point should net them the cap, as Gigantti end up capping and completing round 3 with another couple of points in their bank. Issue is, they are going up against 5 minutes, and hey, If HSL can full cap here, the minimum they're looking at is a draw.
Exactly that. They've got a cap with a minute in the time bank, and that's their draw condition or their win condition. But what can you do when you're planning? Just like, okay, so we've planned for Amplification Matrix, we planned for Blizzard. You can't plan for Davin getting a sextuple kill. You know, Athena's screaming that in the comments, like, sextuple kill, baby. Davin, not just a hit scan, he's got a couple of other heroes in that pool as well, including the Hanzo, which sometimes over the course of many buffs to projectile speed is effectively hit scan. He's now on the McCree though. Maybe he'll roll out on this. This would be great for trying to contain Zapray if it gets overly aggressive, and it's also really good, of course, for shutting down Chow if he comes in to try and get knockbacks with those Diva boosters.
You got to think, yeah, it's going to be safe for someone like Zapray, right? Or maybe Fisher too, to stop him going from the ice block. If you can quickly deal with the Mei, it's a lot of control you do end up losing. HSL probably going to see this though. They're going to wander out, see the McCree, and if they want to change up, they can do. They got a lot of time to do so. An extra minute has been added since their last attack. Gigantti holding up on this high ground. Make use of that range the McCree offers.
Yeah, and it also means that if you change to a dive comp to try and close that distance quickly, you're going straight into the flashbang of Davin, which can be deadly towards a Winston or a Wrecking Ball, allowing him to deal a whole lot of damage with Fan the Hammer. I want to see Fan the Hammers here, Davin. No pride in the headshots, just get the wins, get the kills, give him the old right click. And right now, HSL still scouting. Will they decide to turn around? They've actually used the Maywall to obscure a huge amount of vision, deny the information. As they roll up, they're going to go under.
Oh, damn it. Oh, no. He drops first. Oh, dear. That's one main damage source now down. They have to rely on Leaf. Zapray does end up falling, though, as Milky Man secures the kill with the help of that Immortality field placed down by Littlebow. But how he is taken care of also. This is looking extremely disastrous for Gigantti. HSL on their first attack yet again secure first.
And Davin there, he actually got halted off by the rookie Henningsen with a big play. Outbraining the veteran. Davin, two-time Contenders champion, but occasionally he's still going to get outbrained by the new guy, Orisa. Beautiful play right there. HSL, not really close to winning the ultimates right now. The damage is quite democratically spread around, but Gigantti have changed up so much, have given up so much of that charge. He's nowhere near that transcendence. He had to swap over. Same for Davin. Went to the Tracer, then to the Reaper. As HSL, they just want to get straight onto point here. They want to try and bully people out so that Fisher and Zapray can get these ultimates ready to go, because there's very little to mitigate it.
Littlebow might just be the saving grace, though. That's a very aggressive Fisher in the back line does manage to jump over. Zapray's going to find the kill onto Zuppe as well. Now you've got to rely on the healing from Littlebow. Amplification Matrix is going to be there, but the damage is too great from HSL. They're looking so good. Just deal with Chow and this could be all over. Milky Man is going to fall. This is going to be it. Two Blizzards are going to get sent out, but there's zero damage follow-up. You may have been able to win this, Gigantti, if Littlebow stayed alive. A ticket's going to get acquired, and they have 3 minutes and 40 seconds. They're time banked still.
Davin's had to invest his TP to try and get up on the high ground. He's got to touch the point, Jaws.
2 ticks have been acquired. Now Leaf has to get back on with the Doomfist. Can he end up doing it? There's going to be a beat as well. How are you going to chew through this? I don't think you can. Ding takes out Zappis, and HSL push it on forward with a couple of percent to get. Managed to secure second point, and now Gigantti on the verge of losing this second map.
They've guaranteed themselves a draw up, and it was the same thing again that happened on the first point, on the first attack, Jaws. Zapray coming in from a different angle, managed to get the drop onto Zuppe, and, well, when you look at the Zenyatta hitbox, that thing's pretty square. That's really good for going out with the shotguns. You're going to get the 2-shot, and then guess what? There's no Discord orb. You're lacking that huge utility. There's no Harmony orb. You're not building up towards Transcendence. Team Gigantti flummoxed here. And now, if they even want the draw, they've got to hold a single tick of A, which has been taken first fight both times for 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
We spoke about it at the start of the map. Why did they go to Voskaya? Why did they choose this? Their 2 losses on Assault this season, on Voskaya, sorry, they did find 2 losses. There you go, that's a sentence and a half. Once to HSL and once to Angry Titans. This is a situation now for Gigantti that the momentum is completely is gone. There's nothing left in your basket. HSL now are sitting in a situation where they can, of course, ride the high of winning these first 2 maps, but not only is Chow and Askoff looking for this redemption, Ding coming out of retirement, 2 people coming back from NA as well. HSL are showing people what they're made of. Gigantti look like nothing to them right now.
And right now, HSL going to roll out on the Reaper Mei. Davin back on the Cowboy, trying to dispense some justice here. And justice is fair. and fair as draws. That's exactly what Gigantti want. They can't allow for a halt to get them again. They have actually been pushed off the high ground. Going to make it. They got Davin with a halt again.
He's good though. Defense Matrix is going to be there. He's all right for the time being. Askov's going to go fairly low, but now Gigantti lose their high ground advantage. Nice little boot there from Askov to start the engagement. A wall's going to come in as well as they try and bisect the rest of the team. You can see on the sideline, Zander trying to find some entrance into the fight, past the shield and past the defense matrix, but they take out Fisher to start this one off.
The shield is down. Everyone needs to be on the point right now. They cannot afford to give away this tick draws. No disengagement is available.
But they've lost a lot of control. HSL are just bleeding at this point. Chow actually gets demeched as well. Askov doing a fair bit in the back line, but I'm not sure it's actually going to be enough. They might just want to go for a full reset here as Davin manages to find 2, make that 3 people as Chow goes for the reset. They still have a lot of time, and Ding has that coalescence as well.
Well, we're in for a rarity, Jaws, a Deadeye in competitive play, and it would be even more rare if it can get some value. One of the harder ults to really extract that from. So he's not joined his team. Leaf's going to have to invest a second wall to get him up here. Got a quick replay for you to show off Davin's accuracy. We know him as a legendary hit scan. Here's exactly why, for those of you at home who may be wondering. Obscuring their vision in our live feed right now, trying to get onto the point. Our HSL will just posture for a little bit. They've almost got that coalescence, but Zupe's got the same. Remember, that can be cancelled by the flashbang.
There's so many ultimates available from Gigantti. Milky Man's about to get a supercharger. Coalescence available from Ding. It's the only one. Double coalescence could be a priority here for Ding. There's going to be a high noon in the back as well, but perfectly walled off by Fisher. Milky Man's supercharger ends up getting taken out, and now they're going to march on forward with a beat, but a beat in return from Gigantti as well as a defensive blizzard. They're now rounding about on everybody in that mega health pack room. Another ultimate's going to come down in the side. That supercharger's going to do so much damage here. Also, the shield's going to fall almost instantly, and Zope going down as well could just be it. Zander finds one with an ult. Henningson's going to follow this one up as well, and HSL now jumping on the point. Team Gigantti, they basically have no one left, and with a minute to spare as well, HSL will take their second map in the series.
Time in the bank and 2 points on the board as well for the side of HSL. A lot of people may have said coming into this match, reigning sort of like kings of EU, Gigantti pretty favoured against these upstarts. HSL, who've never been to a semi-finals, let alone a finals, but here they are, 2-0 up. Need maybe getting in Gigantti's head. We're going to have a bit of a longer half-time break, and we've got to think the coaches need to talk to Gigantti, be like, okay, here's where you're going wrong. You need to try and deal with Zander and his Reaping. He's trying out May, Fisher on the May, but we said at the beginning of the season, Zander Fisher, that is a very dangerous DPS combo.
Gotta say, this meta shift as well has looked so good for HSL. They may have had a close game against Clockwork Vendetta in the semi-finals, but with 2 maps under their belt currently, the momentum is definitely in their court. And I gotta say, like you said, Zander, just incredible Reaper play so far. And Fisher's walls as well have been so good. Not only obscuring vision, it just takes away a lot of information as well. And just bisecting the enemy team, isolating Milky Man, and then rolling on from there.
Yeah, and we've also seen some great tactics when it comes to their approaches, their positioning. We don't often get to talk about it too much with these kinds of compositions where it's all about the WM1. But Zander coming in on these off angles is a little bit of a rarity compared to what we see from Overwatch League, and he's often making it work. There needs to be a bit more communication from Gigantti potentially, but it's so hard. That teleport is kind of quiet now. You don't really hear it coming through, and it is rather quick as well. You've got invincibility, and you get the third-person camera while it's happening, so you get a lot of environmental awareness.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Zappare's Widow's also been quite a marvel to watch. He's so patient, something we talked about actually in the break, how he was kind of waiting there. He knew at the end of the day, Little Bo is going to line up with the crosshair and then instantly get clicked on. You've got to be careful if you're going to make it. If you're going on these big flanks, you can't just let out shots willy-nilly. The team's going to react very easily. Go, okay, so we need to reposition a shield. We can May-wall you off, or even send someone like a Diva after you to deal with you. He's patient. He finds the picks, and the important ones at that. Little Bo may be a fantastic Baptiste, but if he's taken out so early on, you've got no healing to rely on.
Yeah, right now, if you're the Gigantti coach, you just need to be working on this little micro, because despite our scoreline at the moment, this has been a very close match. We were 2-1 on Busan, and of course, 5-4 on Volskaya. So it's just little things you need to do to try and min-max your performance. Term for the MMO players out right there.
Well, we'll have to wait and see where Gigantti want to go. Of course, it will be their map selection once again. I've got to say, I'd be pretty terrified to face anyone from HSL right now. They are on fire. We'll have to see if they can continue that. And like you said, there is a little bit of a break here, so they can sit them down. But is it going to be down to Davin? Was the McCree a mistake on this point? Is the Reaper just a better pick? It did look like they were kind of anticipating a very aggressive play from Fisher, from Zapray, but they took it in their stride. They were like, okay, he's playing McCree. If we just halt him, hook him, or just halt him into an icicle, into a freeze, we can take care of him, and then we can push the rest of your team out, because you don't really have much damage after that. Maybe you've got the Mei to control, but not much else.
And one of the things I saw about that McCree was actually when he flashbanged Zapray. Zapray actually also got halted and booped. There needs to be more communication of like, oh, I'm flashbanging this target, because one of the main things you use flashbang for is to immobilize people, to stun them, to cancel abilities, and to make sure you can hit those headshots, or a fan of the hammer to get that damage you need. But it's much harder to hit those shots when people are being knocked all over the place in ways you don't expect, especially when you've lined up your aim in a way that expects no movement. There's a big halt from Henningsen.
That was so good. You see, Davin, he was getting down anyway, but he kind of stuttered, just waiting for the rest of his team to drop, and then the shield comes out, and then you can hide behind the shield, etc., etc. But the halt from Henningsen forced that maneuver. Davin came down, he instantly dies, and then you can just kill Mei, and then you just kind of win, right? Mei provides so much, but when Davin's on the Kree, it is a protect the McCree com, right? At the end of the day, you want to make sure he stays alive, so he can just continue to get shot after shot after shot off. And the one massive benefit to McCree as well, if you're in a defensive situation, or even offense, as long as you're protected, you can use that role aggressively, or just to go for the reload. You don't have to wait for, them to aggress on you, then roll back to get the reload. No, you can use it very aggressively, almost have 12 shots at the ready, and the damage you can deal is just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can play maximum DPS if you've got that roll in a way that makes it very viable, but that was a great spot from Henningsen. You noticed there was a small gap in the shield where it sort of overlapped with the edge, so it was like, okay, I'm just going to put a halt under there, drag everyone down, and Henningsen, the tech on this tank is looking super good. The newbie in this field of veterans, I'm so impressed with him.
Well, break time is nigh. We are going to jump to it. Map number 3 coming up soon. HSL, 2 maps up in the series, though. They're looking strong. We'll see if Gigantti can bounce back.